Tier 4. This is
Yeah!
Hello, welcome back. What monstrosity we have here is a Mitsubishi D1800 gray market tractor. I'll let you Google what gray market means. What it means to me right here, right now, is that parts are not readily available for this tractor. They were never intended to be sold here stateside, so parts are very hard to find. The problem with this particular tractor is that the cylinder head was cracked. It was cracked between the intake and exhaust valves. Both cylinders had a crack in it, and that allowed coolant to flow into the cylinders and lock up the cylinders. The bores are, well, they're not perfect. They might be able, I can't move that one. They might be able to be honed and saved, but the head was damaged, and I took it to several different shops, and they all said the same thing: it cannot be fixed. So I, of course, tried to weld it myself and completed the cannot be fixed problem. So that head is now a paperweight. So what do? We can find a junkyard head and use that. We can. There is one company in the Southeast, I think they're somewhere in Tennessee, that has a junkyard head for this, just one, and they are willing to part with it for the low bargain basement price of what'll end up being somewhere around $1,500. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're aware they're the only ones in the world that has one of these. The only one in the country that has one of these. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not doing that. But what I am going to do is I met someone on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm going to go buy another engine. I'm going to repower this tractor. I'm going to replace the engine. The engine I'm putting in there is also a Mitsubishi engine. This engine is a KE95, and that 95 means it's 950 cc's, or almost 1 liter. This engine is 22 horsepower. The engine I'm putting in there is about 24, but the engine I'm putting in is a 3-cylinder. It's gonna have one more of those black holes right about there. The problem with that is that all this has to move that way. Now, I'm pretty sure the engine is gonna bolt up to the transmission, so I think we're gonna be okay on this end. If we're not okay on this end, I'm not sure what I'm gonna be able to do about that. Maybe nothing. Maybe at that point I just sell the loader and scrap the whole rest of the tractor. But we gotta make sure that we can bolt up on this end first. But I'm pretty sure we can. I'm pretty sure this is the same bolt pattern. We're gonna find out. But the two big problems with this is that all of this, the radiator has to move forward a little bit, and that's not even a huge problem. That's not a big deal. I just have to modify this bracket. I may have to cut it right here and move it forward, or just simply move the radiator bracket forward and the whole radiator will come forward. That's not a big deal. Here's where things start to get a little interesting. So this is the bracket for the loader. That's where that goes, right here. And as you can see, it's bolted right here to the transmission. There's a cross member down here, but it is also bolted to the engine. The engine. Now, the new engine has drilled holes that look like they are in this position, so I may get extraordinarily lucky and be able to bolt this directly to the new engine. However, I don't think that's likely. So I think when the new engine goes in, I mean, it does have holes. They're probably over here or somewhere. When the new engine goes in, I'm gonna have to modify this bracket so I can engage the new engine. That's not a huge deal. I can certainly do that. Here's the other sort of hairy issue. The other end of this is where the front part of the loader goes. Those brackets, let me see if I can zoom in, right there, mount to here. And that bracket bolts to this guy, this frame member. This frame member bolts to the front of the engine right there. Now, this frame member carries the front of the loader. It also carries the axle. So this is going to be a little bit more challenging because the new engine, I'm pretty sure, does not have these two holes. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to fabricate something else. Now what the other engine does have, see how this one has both holes right here? Sorry, these two both holes. The other engine has a few of these. You know, there's like here, here, here. There's a couple other mounts. So I'm thinking what I could do is just make a simple bracket for this also, and simply modify that and make that work. I just have a hard time believing that all the front load on this thing is simply carried by these two bolts and two other bolts on the other side. 4 bolts total. I think that's just crazy. Anyhow, so the engine is a stressed member in this whole system, and the new engine is going to be as well, but we're just not exactly sure how. Some other challenges I'm going to have is with the hydraulic pump. Now this engine has a hydraulic pump right here to run the loader. It pulls hydraulic fluid from the tank through this pipe. I'm going over here. Where is it? There. From this fitting way down here. Can you even see that? It's at the end of my finger. There's a line, a hard line that goes underneath here, and then it snakes up here, feeds the pump. And the outlet of the pump comes through here, goes through this narrow line, and ends up coming out of one of these to feed the loader. The return comes through the other one and goes down underneath the machine and ends up returning into here. So the chances of the new engine's hydraulic pump being in the exact right position there are slim to none. So I'm pretty certain I'm going to have to modify these lines. I'm not real worried about that. We can certainly find ways to modify that and get that accomplished. So we will burn that bridge when we get there. By the way, here's the other 2 bolts on this side that hold the whole front bracket on. Here's another set of bolt holes right here. The other engine has similar bolt holes of these, not those. Anyhow, so this thing is painted. This filter is painted. I don't think this filter has ever come off of here. People don't paint filters. This comes from the factory that way. Wow. This thing was made in maybe the late 70s, early 80s. I think it's got the same filter. Anyway, there's my furnace. I'm going to stop here anyway. Stay tuned.